Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to talk about the different colors of hydrogen. What are the different colors of hydrogen? Several techniques make it possible to produce a low-carbon hydrogen. There are several ways of producing hydrogen. The two main ones being the steam reformation of fossil energy and the decomposition of the water molecule by electrolysis. Steam reforming of fossil fuels involves exposing gas or coal to a very hot steam to release hydrogen. This method of production is now dominant, with 75 million tons of hydrogen produced each year worldwide. The main uses are in fertilizer production and refining. This gray hydrogen is a major emitter of greenhouse gases, since 1 ton of hydrogen releases about 10 tons of CO2. The 1 billion tons of CO2 emitted by hydrogen production represent 2.5% of total global emissions. The second process is based on the decomposition of the water molecule, either by electrolysis, a technique whereby an electric current chemically breaks down the water into dioxygen and dehydrogen, or by thermochemical cycles. The molecule dissociates under the effect of temperatures in the range of 800 to 1000 degrees. The hydrogen produced is designated by several colors depending on the source of electricity used. Hydrogen, black and brown. Using black coal or lignite, brown coal, in the hydrogen manufacturing process, this black and brown hydrogen is the absolute opposite of green hydrogen in the hydrogen spectrum and the most environmentally damaging. To make matters worse, any hydrogen produced from fossil fuels through the gasification process is sometimes referred to as black or brown hydrogen. Japan and Australia have recently announced a new project to convert brown coal into hydrogen. This project will use lignite in Australia to produce liquefied hydrogen, which will then be shipped to Japan for low-emission use. Gray hydrogen. This is currently the most common form of hydrogen production. Gray hydrogen is created from natural gas or methane by steam reforming methane, but without capturing the greenhouse gases produced in the process. Today, more than 95% of the hydrogen consumed worldwide is extracted from fossil fuels, mainly natural gas, by the action of superheated steam. Metal catalysts are used, nickel, iron, chromium, copper, to facilitate the reactions. This technique, known as steam reforming, requires the gas-steam mixture to be heated to very high temperatures, between 700 or 800 and 1000 degrees. It is therefore energy-intensive and is accompanied by significant carbon dioxide CO2 emissions. Hydrogen can also be produced by coal gasification, but this method, which also emits a lot of CO2, is still relatively rare in the world. Steam reforming is currently the most economical process for producing hydrogen. However, its cost, estimated at €1.5 per kilogram, is 3 times higher than that of natural gas. But if its production is subject to the carbon tax as in Europe, the bill is even higher. To characterize this hydrogen produced from fossil fuels with high greenhouse gas emission, it has been given the color gray. Produced by steam reforming of fossil fuels such as natural gas, coal, or oil. The result is a waste product CO2 which is released into the atmosphere. Gray hydrogen is therefore not climate neutral. Turquoise hydrogen. It is a product of the pyrolysis of methane. The methane is natural gas split into hydrogen and solid carbon. Solid carbon is a granulate that can be safely stored in all mining tunnels, for example, and reused later. As a result, no CO2 is released into the atmosphere. If the energy required for the pyrolysis of methane comes from renewable energies, the production of turquoise hydrogen is climate neutral. This is a new entry in the hydrogen spectrum, and production has not yet been proven on a large scale. Turquoise hydrogen is made using a process called pyrolysis of methane to produce hydrogen and solid carbon. In the future, turquoise hydrogen could be considered low-emission hydrogen, depending on the thermal process powered by renewable energy and permanently stored or used carbon. Blue hydrogen. Blue hydrogen is produced by splitting the hydrocarbon chains of fuels such as petrol, diesel, or natural gas, but this process generates CO2 that must be captured to avoid pollution, which poses an additional cost and difficulties to the process. Blue hydrogen refers to hydrogen that generates CO2 emissions that are captured and then stored or reused, for example, to make ecofuels. It is a low-emission hydrogen. Blue hydrogen is produced mainly from natural gas, using a process called steam reforming, which combines natural gas and heated water in the form of steam. The result is hydrogen, but also carbon dioxide as a byproduct. This means that carbon capture and storage, CCS, is essential to capture and store this carbon. Blue hydrogen is sometimes referred to as low-carbon hydrogen, as the steam reforming process doesn't actually avoid the creation of greenhouse gases. Pink hydrogen. Pink hydrogen is hydrogen obtained by electrolysis of water powered by nuclear energy. It is a fairly sustainable type of hydrogen. Pink hydrogen is generated by electrolysis powered by nuclear energy. Nuclear produced energy, or hydrogen, can also be called purple hydrogen or red hydrogen. In addition, the very high temperatures of nuclear reactors could be used in other hydrogen production by producing steam for more efficient electrolysis or steam methane reforming using fossil gas. Yellow hydrogen. Yellow hydrogen is a relatively new term for hydrogen produced by electrolysis using solar energy. Yellow hydrogen is hydrogen in which the electricity used for electricity comes from mixtures from renewable energy to fossil fuels. Green hydrogen obtained from solar energy is also considered as yellow hydrogen, as we have just said. Production and technologies for yellow hydrogen. In this case, hydrogen is generated by electrolysis of water, which electricity from the grid. It is supplied from mixtures, including fossil fuels, come from solar energy. However, there is some disagreement about this classification, as some people use this code to refer to hydrogen produced by electrolysis of waters with grid electricity. So, green hydrogen, produced by electrolysis, division of water into oxygen, its oxygen and nitrogen components. Renewable energy sources such as wind, hydroelectric, or solar provide the electricity needed for this purpose, that is power-to-gas technology. This means that the production of green hydrogen is CO2 neutral, but currently still associated with high energy consumption. In Germany, there are already 40 plants for the production of green hydrogen, maybe more today, and so they are so-called electrolyzers. I hope you're interested in this presentation. Here are some sources. If you want to deepen your knowledge, feel free to ask questions or comments. You can also go to the site we just were here, where you will have more topics covered. Thank you. Bye-bye.